Blue slow to get back into the line.
Oh, intercepted by Lockyer.
He scored!
Regarded as the world's best rugby league player, Darren Lockyer was the former captain of the Brisbane Broncos, Queensland side and the Australian Kangaroos. By the end of his career, Darren had scored more points for the Brisbane Broncos in the club's history than any other player. Upon his retirement at the end of the 2011 NRL season, he had set the all-time appearance record for club, state and country. I witnessed his skill and his abilities to want to be the best and play the best, but not just for himself, but for his team, for Queensland, for Australia. But while undoubtedly one of the most recognisable athletes in Australia, Lockyer has largely maintained his privacy, rarely, if ever, allowing fans to know who he really is. In the autobiography Darren Lockyer, written by himself with Dan Knock, Darren for the first time opens up on people, places, incidents and events that have shaped his life and career as an Australian sporting icon. A sport delivery system connects participants and sporting agencies or organisations together. The agencies combine, compete and contribute to the delivery of sport for all. The system has two aims: to increase the number of people taking part in sport and active recreation, especially amongst the hard to reach, and to build talent pathways to support the young people to achieve their full potential. The ambition of the Australian Sport Commission is to create a quality sports delivery system that ensures everyone, no matter where they are from, is able to have access to high quality sporting opportunities. Darren Lockyer was and still is considered one of Australia's greatest NRL players. Starting from an early age to learn to kick and pass the ball, Darren was introduced to the game of AFL. However, when the family packed up and moved out west to a small town called Wandon, Darren got his first taste in rugby league and was hooked instantly. When the family left Wandon from Roma, Darren knew league was his game. In 1989, Darren was selected for the Queensland under-12 squad as an outside centre and got his first taste in representative football. By the time Darren had finished grade 12, he had moved from home, accepting an offer to join the Brisbane Broncos. Darren Lockyer was involved in many competitions, the NRL Premiership being one of them. The Australian Rugby League, NRL, is the top level of professional rugby and is contested of 16 teams. The NRL's main competition is known as the Telstra Premiership. Premiership season is where 16 teams play 26 games each and are ranked on the ladder by competition points. 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. At the end of a regular season, the club, which is ranked the highest on the ladder, is declared the minor premiers, and the top 8 teams make it through to the finals. The finals consist of a number of games between the top 8 teams over 4 weeks until there are only 2 teams remaining, that then play against each other in the grand final. The NRL Premiership determines the season's premiers and is one of Australia's major sporting events. Darren Lockyer won the Premiership 4 times, in 1997, 1998, 2000 and 2006. The State of Origin series is another major competition that Darren was involved in. It is the annual best of 3 matches played between the 2 state representative sides, New South Wales Blues and the Queensland Maroons. Players are selected to represent their state in which they first played their senior rugby games or their place of birth. The team to win the majority of the 3 games are named the State of Origin title series holders. Darren Lockyer played 36 games for the Queensland side. The Tri-Nations was a rugby league tournament involving the top 3 teams in the sport: Australia, Great Britain and New Zealand. Today, it is called the Rugby League Four Nations. The tournament had been organised into 2 different formats. In 1999, each team played the others once, before the top 2 teams played each other in the final. From 2004, each team had played the other team twice before the tournament final. The top teams are calculated using the league table. Teams received 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. The Four Nations is another major competition that Darren was involved in. The Four Nations is an annual rugby league football tournament run in partnership between the Australian Rugby League Commission, United Rugby League Football, and the New Zealand Rugby League. The tournament replaced the previous Tri-Nations by including a fourth team that qualifies by winning their respective regional competition in a rotation between Europe and the South Pacific. The tournament is organised in a round-robin format. Each team played the others once before the top two teams played each other in a tournament final. The top two teams are calculated using the league table. Teams receive 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. The Rugby League World Cup is an international tournament played by the national teams that come under the Rugby League International Federation. The tournament consists of 14 international rugby league teams. They get split into 2 groups of 4 and 2 groups of 3. The 3 nations from each group of 4 qualify for the quarterfinals, where they are joined by the 2 winners of the groups of 3. Then 1 team from each, with the most amount of wins, progresses into the finals to play against each other. Darren Lockyer played in 9 World Cups before he retired. The World Club Series is an annual rugby league football competition played between the champion club of the Australasian National Rugby League and the champion club of the European Super League, and 2 invited clubs from each competition, therefore 6 teams in total. When Darren Lockyer played in the series, the format of the game was different, with only 1 single club from each league that were the champions from the previous year. Today, the 2 champions will still compete in a single match for the World Club Championship trophy, as in the previous years, and the other teams competing are only exhibition games for more NRL media coverage. Darren played in the series in 1997, where the Brisbane Broncos defeated the Hunter Mariners 26-12. 2001 against St Helens, where they lost 20-18, and again in St Helens in 2007, losing 18-14. The Indigenous vs NRL All-Star match was assembled in 2010, and Darren Lockyer captained the team in 2010 and 2011 before his retirement. The team is formed by professional players in the NRL. The players are selected by fans in a vote. Fans, however, are only allowed to select 1 player from each of the 16 teams to join the Australian Rugby League captain, the NRL All-Stars versus the Indigenous All-Stars. Throughout Darren's rugby league career, he had many major sporting achievements, and to have to pick 10 isn't even a credit to his full achievements. In February 1995, Darren made his NRL debut. They were playing against Parramatta and won by 40 points. He remembers the feeling of being in front of the crowd and finally making his dreams come true. May 19, 1997 was the first time Darren represented Queensland. In 1997, Darren had also had his Australia's debut. Even though he'd believed that it was the worst game of his life, he was living his childhood dreams and remembered the pride he had pulling on the famous green and gold jersey of the Kangaroos and holding the hands of his 16 other teammates and singing the national anthem. April 13, 2001, Darren captained the Queensland State of Origin team for the first time. In 2002, September 21, he got the Broncos Player of the Year. September 28, 2003, he was the first time Darren captained the Australian team after being handed the Test captaincy by Chris Anderson. He believed that not only it changed him as a football player, but also his life in general. It took him a couple of years to comprehend the significance of the title, but soon he understood and respected it enormously. In his autobiography, he said he'd worked hard to lift his standard as a player and as a person to one believed the Kangaroo skipper should be. November 2003-23, Darren won his first Golden Boot after being named the best international rugby player for that year. 2006 August 28, Darren won the State of Origin Wally Lewis Medal for being the best player of the series. In 2006, Darren captained and won the NRL Premiership for the Broncos. On the 4th of September 2008, Darren Lockyer won his last LEM for being the best 5'8". Formed by the ARL, Australian Rugby League, and the NRL, National Rugby League, the NRL Development Program is a non-profit company. It aims to develop the grassroots of sport from the introductory level up to the age of 18 years. The NRL Development works with pre-existing development frameworks established by clubs and state leagues to expand existing programs and establish new development initiatives. Darren Lockyer was part of the Roma Rugby League Club, At the age of 14, Cyril Collin first spotted Darren and began asking questions. When Cyril commented on Darren's football, it pushed him harder to improve his skills. Junior clubs such as Roma are very important in gaining attraction for new players in the sport. The attraction process is the first stage in the sports development program. Programs like the ARL development program are funded through the support received from the government and sponsored program fees. The Brisbane Broncos Elite Player Development Department has changed a great deal since the recruitment of Darren Lockyer in 1995. They now have the support of the Cullen Group, which ensures that they continue to be the premier development pathway in the game. The program focuses on the key common principles of individual development and allows junior players to reach their full potential. The program comes under Stage 3 in the sport development process. Stage 3 is a nurturing process where programs are tailored to suit players and significant money is invested into developing elite athletes' preparation. Broncos Colts allow future players to have the best practice for the games. Darren Lockyer played in the halves in the Colt side, and when he was told by Wayne Bennett that he would be part of the first grade squad the following weekend, he knew he was ready because of the development program he was put through. The Collins Group makes sure there is a full-time skills coach and strength and conditioning coach available to coordinate their physical and technical development as a rugby league player. They also have a player services management available to assist with the decisions the players might have to make in regards to their welfare, life and education. Sports development, defined by Collin, states that sports development is a process whereby effective opportunity, processes, systems and structures are set up to enable and encourage people in all particular groups and areas to take part on sport for recreation or to improve their performance to whatever level they desire. The ARL development program and the Cullen Group facilitated the success and development of Darren Lockyer. The ARL development program saw Darren Lockyer playing for Roma League Club and created a pathway for him to play in state league competitions, for example, Queensland Schoolboys Club, and then into the Colts under-18s. Cyril Connell first spotted Darren when he was playing for the Southwest in the under-15s carnival. After that game, Cyril stayed in regular touch with Darren and his family over the next 2 years. Cyril had put him on a scholarship with the Roma City's Rugby League Club. The scholarship covered his school fees and the cost of playing representative football. Cyril then saw him play for the Queensland Schools and offered him to play on the Broncos Colt side. Darren Lockyer, with the help of Dan Knock, wrote the autobiography Darren Lockyer in 2011 after his retirement from NRL. It is clear that Darren has an understanding of the sport delivery system. Darren believes that the system was what put him through and brought him to where he is today. Through reading Darren Lockyer's autobiography and researching his career, I have learnt that the sport delivery system has played a large role in his development into an international player for Australia. The Australian Rugby League should provide an opportunity for everyone to participate. The increased participation has added benefits of improving the chances of identifying talented athletes such as Darren Lockyer from a young age and generates increased interest in professional rugby league. Throughout this podcast, I have explained the sports delivery system and how Darren got to the level of football that he is at. Darren holds the all-time appearance record for club, state and country, and his excellence has earned him the respect of fellow athletes around the world and the adoration of his fans everywhere.